Welcome to Factfinder Investigates. I'm Dylan Domingue. Sedgwick County property values continuing to go up, and those values are directly connected to what you pay in property taxes. Now, some Sedgwick County leaders say they're concerned the county relies too heavily on property taxes. Factfinder reporter Brock Wilson has that story.
I think it's time for us to take a look at what other ways that we can fund government that keeps us being able to provide the services that we have to provide.
Sedgwick County Commissioner David Dennis says he received a call from a 79-year-old man saying he may have to move out of his home.
Because he got his property tax valuation, and with his reevaluation, it went up a lot.
Commissioner Dennis says personally, his property valuation has also gone up a lot since 2021.
I'm not the only one that's facing 43.7% increase on the property values.
So to offset that increase, Dennis proposes a 1-cent sales tax.
If we took and asked the public, would you support a 1-cent sales tax if 100% of that went to reducing your property tax across the board? I think it would pass.
But there's just one problem. Sedgwick County already has a 1-cent sales tax, so the county commission would first have to go to the state legislature, then put it to a public vote.
Which I think is a great process. That way our constituents are telling us, how do we want tax policy to work in this community? If it gets to that point where this is an option, it'll go to the ballot and the people will decide.
Commissioner Ryan Beatty says a sales tax increase is certainly an option and highlights a big issue.
I think by and large what was said today is that we are too dependent on property tax revenue. And as property taxes are continuing to grow, as the cost of government is continuing to grow, that we need to be creative in how we're reducing property tax burden for our constituents.
And just because property values are going up doesn't mean everyone will be seeing an increase in property taxes. Commissioner Beatty says the county commission still needs to create the budget and establish the mill levy, and their goal will be to reduce the mill levy as much as possible. The Lyon County Sheriff's Office saying it's identified remains found along the Neosho River as Randy Clayton. Clayton's skull was found back in April of 2017. The case was submitted to an FBI laboratory in Virginia in 2018, but the man's identity remained unknown. In 2022, the Sheriff's Office partnered with a lab that works to identify people through DNA analysis, and DNA testing with potential family members did confirm Clayton's identity. His cause of death is still under investigation. Decades after the murder of a Hutchinson man, the KBI says they have made an arrest. Now an Arizona man could face charges in the 1982 cold case. Factfinder News reporter Jalea Daughtry is tracking what we have learned.
Nearly 42 years ago, 44-year-old Michael McGowan was found shot to death in his car on March 24, 1982 in Hutchinson. The Hutchinson Police Department and the KBI investigated McGowan's murder. Investigators believe McGowan was shot and killed the night before and found in his car in the parking lot of his apartment the next morning. The case was labeled cold, but recently the KBI conducted interviews in 3 states that developed additional evidence needed to proceed with the charges in this cold case. Nearly 42 years after the murder, the KBI announced an arrest. 75-year-old Jerry Allen of Phoenix, Arizona, was arrested by the Phoenix Police Department and later extradited back to Kansas. Allen is being charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder and is being held in the Reno County Jail on a $2.5 million bond. His first court appearance is scheduled for March 8th.
Thank you, Jalea. One truck driver will be back on the road once again after he reached out to Factfinder 12 looking for help. And now a U.S. Senator using his story as an example to address issues at the national level. Factfinder reporter Rachel Hackbarth explains.
We first introduced you to Colin Metzger, a one-armed truck driver, 3 weeks ago. Metzger has driven trucks for years, but a test required by the federal government and a lack of doctors in Wichita to perform that test left him unable to do his job for more than a month. Metzger has to have a skills performance evaluation renewed every 2 years by an orthopedic surgeon because he has one arm. For weeks, Metzger was told by doctors that they either didn't know what the test was or know how to do it. While Metzger eventually found a doctor to perform the exam, U.S. Senator Jerry Moran's office told us this is part of a larger issue that they're looking into. In a statement Senator Moran sent to 12 News, Senator Moran's office says they are working to address shortages for both health care and the trucking industry, and he plans to bring up those concerns in committee meetings with other lawmakers.
Oh my God, here. Do you worry that it will get worse before it gets better? I worry every day that it will get worse. I think the fact that a lot of these crimes appear to be part of an organized effort, with every day that passes, that there's not an increasing deterrent, that they will continue to grow.
Mail carriers being attacked on the job, what the robbers are after, and what's being done about it. That's coming up next on Factfinder Investigates.
I got hurt.